You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Ready for your next adventure? Discover the perfect Jeep for every journey at Landers CDJR, located on Main Street in Norman. Right now, take $16,000 off 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4XEs and $15,000 off Jeep Gladiator Rubicons. You always get honest and transparent pricing and no surprise add-ons. Shop Landers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, Norman.com. Jeep Adventure Days.
Jeep Wrangler stock RW323913, Jeep Gladiator stock RL107767.
How about this? We're hanging out with the winningest coach in OU football history, Bob Stoops, Mondays on the T-Row in the Morning Show. It's the Stoops Review with the HBC on the T-Row Show, Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 with limited commercial interruption. Every Monday, we'll be looking back at Saturday's OU game with a guy who knows what he's looking at. Bob Stoops, the Visor, the HBC on our show every Monday. Check it out.
Hey sports fans, ever wonder what happens when your favorite tales collide? Step into the thrilling world of Into the Woods. It's not just a musical, it's an adventure where classic characters like Jack, Cinderella, and the Big Bad Wolf swing at their dreams, just like your favorite players on game day. Join us for Into the Woods, where the stakes are high and excitement is real. Get your tickets now and cheer for your favorites in a whole new way. Don't miss out. Catch the Sooner Magic on stage at the Sooner Theater October 25th through November 3rd.
It's football time in Oklahoma. While you enjoy the game and tailgate, let Scissortail Roofing and Construction handle your roofing or construction project from start to finish. Whether it's a damage from a storm or a full construction project, we have you covered. Call us today at 405-928-8089 or visit us online at scissortailroofing.com for a free estimate. Hit by hail? Call Scissortail today, your trusted local roofing and construction company.
Signature Custom Pools creates more than just stunning pools. We create unforgettable memories. Our expert team designs unique, luxurious pools tailored to your vision and ensuring exceptional service every step of the way. Dive into elegance and make lasting memories with those you cherish the most. Plan now for next season and call Signature Custom Pools for a free consultation today at 405-898-9098 or visit them online at signaturecustompools.com today.
Hi, this is Monty Markham. Today I want to ask for your vote for Jonathan Wilk for House District 20 on November the 5th. I've known Jonathan all his life and I've watched him become a leader in our community. Jonathan listens to people and makes decisions that benefit everyone he represents. He's raised a family while serving on the Norman Fire Department, all the while running his own business. He's an Oklahoman, one of us. Vote for Jonathan Wilk on November the 5th. Paid for by Wilk, House District 20, 2024.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
It's time to watch more Oklahoma women's basketball. The Sooners return 98% of their scoring on a loaded roster that includes 3 McDonald's All-Americans and is led by National Coach of the Year finalist Jenny Baranchek. Get ready for more threes, more defense, more passion, and more historic moments in the Sooners' inaugural SEC season. It's time to watch more women's basketball. Grab your tickets now at Soonersports.com/WBB.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
I'll say it. I love Memphis, and I haven't even been here 2 hours yet. I love Memphis. It's great. Everyone's super nice. The food is amazing. Rendezvous is incredible. I'm a big fan of Memphis. This is great. D'Amigo's down here with us at the Rendezvous. He's awesome. We already got Sooner fans down here as well. Friday in Memphis, getting you ready for OU Ole Miss tomorrow at 11 a.m. Let's go. Tyler McComas alongside Parker Thune, and yeah, we'll hit some recruiting today a little bit, but it's mostly going to be about this football game tomorrow as OU looks for its second SEC win and second on the road. Parker Thune is somewhere. I don't know if he's in Houston. I don't know if he's in Texas somewhere. I don't know if he's in Arkansas. I don't know if he's in Memphis. Buddy, where are you at today?
I am in Shreveport, Louisiana, Tyler.
You should see the faces here right now when you said that. Not great. How's the smell?
It's not bad. I'm not going to kid you. It's better than previous experiences in Shreveport. I'll say that much. I don't know if the wind's just blowing the right direction today or what.
Yeah, well, it's December 31st, 1999 was the last time I'm in Shreveport. I don't know if I'll make it out there anytime soon. But we've got the cheese and sausage plate already at Rendezvous. Hey, I got a surprise guest for you right here on site. And it just so happens to be someone from the text line, Parker Thune. He is our Ole Miss insider / big OU fan with a Toby Keith shirt on right now. You know who I'm talking about. It's Dan in Madison, Mississippi. Came all the way up here with his wife to join the show today. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Ready to go down and watch the Sooners win in Oxford tomorrow.
Yeah, so how's that going to be for you? Because normally you probably don't have a problem being professional down on the sidelines. Because if you don't know, Dan is actually on the sidelines for Ole Miss games every single week, taking photos. Probably don't have an issue being professional, and you may not tomorrow, but how's that going to be? Your favorite team is going to be playing on the other sideline.
Yeah, well, I'll do the best I can to keep my spirits in check as we score a few touchdowns tomorrow. But, the best thing is I'll have an opportunity to be right there next to the guys and get great pictures and hopefully produce some for the Rebel Walk is who I shoot for. It's a website that covers all Ole Miss athletics. And maybe steal one for myself that I can have printed and put on my wall.
Well, what's the mood in Oxford right now? Just the Ole Miss fans in general heading into this game. I mean, they're a 20-point favorite. I guess they feel good, but they also lost the last football game they played in.
Yeah, the mood I hear down in Madison at the gym and whatnot is they're kind of upset with the offense. They're not producing like they should. It's been reported, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, that Trey Harris is not going to play tomorrow.
Ooh, that's big.
That was reported actually on or confirmed on Plank's show by Yancey. I think it's Yancey Porter. I think he's with the Rebel Yell. He's pretty positive he's not going to play tomorrow. Kiffin, though, likes to play games with the injury report. As you saw, the first night it came out, Trey was not on the injury report. And then about 10 minutes later, they did an addendum and added him to it. So that's the games Kiffin plays with it. So we'll see how it turns out tomorrow.
Parker, how does that change your mind, if at all, if Trey Harris, who's, if not their best player, certainly one of their best three players, doesn't play tomorrow?
That brightens the outlook. For Oklahoma, you still have to go score, which the absence of Trey Harris does not really increase or decrease the level of difficulty there. But certainly if Ole Miss is without their top weapon in the passing game, Jackson Dart is without his top target, that makes you feel a little bit better going to Vaught Hemingway.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the deal with Trey Harris, though, he's their big play threat. And he has a lot of long catches. And I think with OU's defense, as long as we don't give up that home run hit or get, as Teddy likes to call it, or Gabe calls it, turn the lights out on us, and we can make them continue a drive, I think we can hold them a little bit in check. And Trey Harris provides that over-the-top threat that gets you in trouble real quick. Matter of fact, if you remember the first play of the LSU game, he dropped a touchdown pass.
Yeah, they should have been up like 17-0 on LSU after midway through the second quarter, something like that. So if you could just tell me tomorrow, guys, that OU's offense is going to take care of the football. Unfortunately, you cannot tell me that. But if there is a world where they just take care of the football tomorrow, I do think this defense could be in a situation where they could play well enough defensively to win this game. And I thought that Trey Harris or not, just because, look, Kentucky was able to slow this team down. LSU was able to slow this team down. And, I mean, really every team that Ole Miss has played, I mean, South Carolina, they really handled that one early. But this is the best defense, in my opinion, that Ole Miss is going to see. So my expectations every single week, and this week included, Dan, is that OU comes out and plays really well defensively. That's where I'm at. It's got to happen, obviously.
And I agree with that. I think, if you look at the South Carolina-Ole Miss game, South Carolina basically gave up the fake punt early, and Ole Miss punched it in, short field, and then they fumbled it the next possession and punched it in. So it was up 14-0. I think they ended up winning 27-3.
Yeah.
But 14 of them were gifts. So LSU, I mean, to all intents and purposes, South Carolina had them in check pretty much.
Yeah. So South Carolina did a terrible fake punt early in that game too that did not work out.
Right.
Well, I've taken you from your lunch and your lovely wife. So before I get you out of here, final score prediction. Because you told me before you're the eternal optimist when it comes to being an OU fan, so let's see that.
Being as a person that played the game and was an athlete my whole life and currently lift weights all the time, I never believe we're going to lose anything. And so as an optimist, I think we're going to win tomorrow, and I think OU is going to score 24 points. I think Ole Miss is going to get 20.
24-20. Yes. First prediction of the day, we got Oklahoma beating Ole Miss. How about that? Sir, are you an Ole Miss fan? You're the owner of this place. Okay, we'll try to say that a little bit quieter next time. We'll say that quieter next time. Hey, Dan, nice to finally meet you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you. There you go, 405-651-3439. All right, what do you got, text line? Dan said 24-20, bringing in all the positivity right now. So I don't know how the rest of you are going to back that up. Deion Burks, reportedly, Parker. I think we've known for a while now that he wasn't going to play this week. That's hard to really change my mind on anything on tomorrow because, I haven't really expected him to play for over a month now.
Yeah, look, there was a time early this week where there was some optimism that maybe Deion Burks is going to be able to play, but first couple days of practice this week quickly removed that optimism, and so he's not ready at this point. You would probably figure that they just go ahead and hold him out through the main game and that he returns against Missouri, at which point he ought to be 100%. But, yeah, no Deion Burks makes the challenge effectively what it has been the last several weeks for Oklahoma in his absence. And in his absence, Tyler, this offense has gotten virtually nothing going through the air.
Yeah, and just to try to find something tomorrow that the OU offense can take advantage of, there's no real matchup, in my opinion, to where you say, oh, OU has the edge here. Their tackles against their edges, their interior guys against your interior guys, your wide receivers against their corners. Really, on paper, you can't really say anything where OU has the edge. But if there's maybe just a slight edge, and we asked this to Bob Stoops yesterday, is the unknown maybe at least a little bit of a nice spot for OU? Because Joe John's the play caller, and though we don't think it's going to be a totally new system, and it won't be a new system, it's going to, I'm sure, in some ways look different, but how different is it going to look, and in what ways is it going to look different? We don't necessarily know that. Ole Miss doesn't necessarily know that. Now, they could just dominate you up front, and it may not matter what you call, but if I'm looking for a positive or, some way where you can get an offense going, I guess the fact that we don't really know what to expect, both sides offensively going into this game, could at least be something that you didn't have last week.
Yeah, well, and that is a good point. Maybe just the enigma factor plays in Oklahoma's favor, but you also said something very astute, very on point, which is worth repeating, and that is that none of it is going to matter if Ole Miss just manhandles Oklahoma up front. And this offensive line, Tyler, they're going to have to play their best game of the year. That's really the only thing that's going to give you a chance to win, because if this offensive line is the row of turnstiles that it has been for much of the 2024 season, against this Ole Miss defensive line, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. You're not going to be able to run the ball. You're not going to be able to throw the ball. Your Jackson Arnold's going to have absolutely no time to do anything from back there. So what you're basically going to have to do is just run quick game stuff all day long and hope that gets you through. if indeed the offensive line is just unable to hold up against Ole Miss's strong front.
Yeah, you the best collection of like pass rushers that you faced all year long was last week. Maybe the best duo of interior guys on the defensive line that you face could be tomorrow, man, with Walter Nolan and Pegues. Both those guys are really good. But this is the most relatable text that I think I've ever seen on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. From the 405, weekly psychological cycle of an OU fan. Saturday, lose hope. Sunday, frustrated/embarrassed. Monday to Wednesday, fire everyone. Thursday, convince myself we have a chance to win. Friday, talk myself out of having a chance to win. Repeat cycle. Can I, frame that, please? That is amazing and so true. It's so true it kind of hurts, man. That cut me deep when I read that.
That's the type of year it's been, Tyler. Is this, what do you think, worse than 2022 on the whole?
It feels like it's on par, man. It feels like it's on par so far up to this point. Now, something happened this year that didn't happen in 2022, even in that 6 and 7 year. I still have never seen an OU game before that was over with 4.5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Even 2022 didn't give us that pain. So this might be this might even be worse than that. But you find a way to, compete tomorrow and find that 6th win, get another SEC win, then we'll see. They got to get to 6 wins, though, and make a bowl game, no doubt. Okay. Chris in Tulsa says, I told myself earlier this week to embrace the suck, and now I feel like we're winning the game tomorrow. OU 27, Ole Miss 17. I've reached a point that I'm ready to be hurt tomorrow. That's what we do, Chris. We put ourselves out there every single week. Thursday, maybe a little optimism. Friday, here's what could happen to win this football game. I don't know. This could happen. Boomer, good to see you. Yeah. Got a lot of OU fans rolling around Memphis. Would you like a koozie or a button? Okay, all right. I'm telling you, man, it's a party here at Rendezvous. If you're out there, if you're on your way to Memphis and you want to swing by here, we're going to be here until 6 p.m. There is a lot of OU fans in town. But I got to say, I've seen a lot of Mizzou fans walking around. What is up with that? I don't know if Memphis is on the way to Tuscaloosa. I don't really know. Is it, Dan? Dude, uncomfortable amount of Mizzou fans. You went to Mizzou? No way. You're way too successful for that. There's no way. Yeah, a lot of Missouri fans out and about so far. Tommy says OU 27, Ole Miss 16. Let's see. We got a lot of OU predictions. 20-17 OU, says Sooner Studi. 21-17 the Sooners, says a texter from the 785. And then this text from the 405. I'll let you handle it because it's so absolutely random. And here's another name that we haven't talked about yet. Could we get Todd Monken as the offensive coordinator?
Oh, I always forget. I get it crossed up in my head. Which one is Todd and which one is Jeff? Is Todd the one at Army right now?
I think that's. Oh wait, yeah. Is he the Army head coach? I think that's Jeff. That's the Army head coach. Is that's who that is? I think Todd used to be at maybe Oklahoma. Yeah, Todd used to be at Oklahoma State. I think he was at OSU a couple of times. He is currently the OC for the Ravens, is where he's at. Gonna guess he probably wouldn't leave that gig, but just a guess.
Lamar Jackson or a row of turnstiles for an offensive line? Take your pick.
Is that the next question? Because, everyone, what about the Boise State OC? Do you think he'd bring Ashton Janty with us? Hey, whatever OC that you get, they need to bring players with them. You think Todd Monken would bring Lamar Jackson to Oklahoma? If so, I'm probably down for that. I'd like OU.
Lamar's got a year of eligibility left, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Two-time Heisman finalist and a Heisman winner.
Anybody who says, let's hire Dirk Cutter so that he can bring Ashton Genty with him. First off, Ashton Genty will never play another down of college football after this season. And also, literally the only reason anyone is mentioning Dirk Cutter's name is because of Ashton Genty. Dirk Cutter is a perpetually mid-coordinator.
You heard it there. Mid-coordinator. Jeez, Dirk Cutter. Catching strays today on a Friday show. How about that? I love it, by the way. We're at Rendezvous. probably heard me already, but I got the cheese and sausage plate, which is fantastic. We're actually downstairs, so if you're heading over to Rendezvous, go downstairs. They got pretty much a section cornered off here for all the OU fans here. It's a really good time. We've got koozies. We've got buttons. We got a whole lot of fun here until 6 p.m. Teddy allegedly will be here at 3 p.m. We'll see if that happens or not. He promises he will. I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, more to come next. Keep it locked on the ref for the Homeless Sooner fans.
Hey, Ref Army, this is Dusty Dvorak. I'm fired up to be back on the K-Ref team. Join me every Tuesday and Wednesday morning during the 10 a.m. hour as I join Plank and Josh to talk some football. Download the K-Ref app and listen from anywhere.
When you're sick, you need to be seen by a health professional today, not next week. Norman Regional Urgent Care is here for you from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Open 7 days a week at Porter Health Village in Norman and Monday through Friday in Westmore and Goldsby. No appointment needed, just walk right in. Whether it's a sudden illness or a minor injury, Norman Regional Urgent Care is ready to get you back on your feet today, not next week.
Riverwind is the Metro's best casino experience. We've got almost 3,000 of your favorite games.
And the Showplace Theater at Riverwind is the hottest spot for live music.
Don't miss out on our Spooky Spin Spectacular giveaway.
Play with your wild card to win your share of $80,000.
No tricks, just treats, big wins, and good times.
Only at Riverwind.
Oh my nosh, how good is that food? Come taste the talk of the town at Nosh in Moore and enjoy a meal from their all-day brunch and lunch menu on Tuesday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. or Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. From tea parties to birthday and holiday parties, Nosh has something for everyone. Call 405-676-6674 to cater your next game day party, business event, or visit their website at noshinmore.com.
Life can be complicated, but saving money shouldn't be. At OU Federal Credit Union, they make saving simple and stress-free. The best part? They have no hidden fees. Joining OUFCU means you're in control of your financial future. Whether it's a rainy day fund or saving for that dream vacation, they've got you covered. Visit OUFCU.com or come by one of their branches today. OU Federal Credit Union, where savings is simple and dreams come true. Member savings insured up to $250,000 by the NCUA.
SEC football is underway, and Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner has what you need to support your Sooners. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour is a favorite for OU fans. If you're going to a game, tailgating, or attending a watch party, come see the latest in Sooner fashion. You'll find polos, tees, jerseys, jackets, and other cold weather gear, and even some bling for her. Balfour has sizes for the youngest to oldest Sooner fans, from great brands like Jordan, Nike, Champion, Antigua, Hype and Vice, Zuzats, and many others. Something for everyone. Additionally, you'll find a great selection of tailgating supplies, from serving pieces to paper plates to grilling accessories. The gift selection is beyond what you would expect with wall art, outdoor decorations, including flags and banners, OU automotive items, and even Sooner golf accessories. If it says OU, Balfour probably has it. Their friendly staff is available to help you find just what you need. So stop by and say hi on your way to the game or anytime. Or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you'll find everything Sooner.
Hi, this is Emily Geis, candidate for Oklahoma House District 90. Growing up in Oklahoma, there are a few things we all learned, like how family always comes first, that the rewards of hard work make it worth doing, and that helping our neighbors wasn't just friendly, it's our duty. I live by that philosophy, and it's the attitude I think we need more of in government. I'm Emily Geis, and I guarantee you no one will work harder for our community and for you. Be wise and vote Geis on November 5th. This ad has been paid for by Emily Geis for State House 2024.
Hands are how we give. Hands are how we receive. To lend a hand and to hand it off. Hands are how we transform and how we redistribute. Our community needs a helping hand these days, and the United Way of Norman is there to offer it. From emergency services to vocational programs to grief counseling for the youth, the United Way connects your gift with the programs that will have the greatest impact on improving the lives of everyone in the community. Make your donation today and raise your hand for your community. Learn how you can give United at unitedwaynorman.org.
Oh boy, the ribs have arrived here at Rendezvous, and they look fantastic. Fantastic. Man, I need to rerun an interview here so I can chow down these ribs or something like that, man. Oh man, this is good. Teddy just showed up, so he's going to be with us from 3 to 6 today, live at Rendezvous. It's going to be a good time here. And Parker is in Shreveport, Louisiana right now. Who did you see last night? What did you hear from Cortland Guillory, and what are the plans this evening? I know that's a lot, but I guess we can start with Cortland Guillory and kind of the impression that you got from him.
Yeah, well, obviously he was just at Texas over the weekend. 4-star cornerback from the Houston area, committed to Oklahoma, but he was at Texas this past weekend. Even so, Tyler, I don't get the sense that he is in jeopardy of flipping, that's a legitimate danger that Oklahoma needs to worry. And I'm not discounting Texas completely by any means because it is a lot closer to home. It is a program that's winning. They do really want Cortland Guillory, and they've let him know that in no uncertain terms. And so you go back to the Colton Vosick situation in 2022, he initially rebuffed Texas for the first couple months too, and then ultimately gave in. And so I don't think Texas is done pushing for Cortland Guillory, but as of right now, he is pretty firm in his commitment to OU.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, that's, anything could happen, right? I mean, it feels like we're close to signing day, but this is the most action-packed time leading up until signing day, especially when, other programs see how other teams are doing and the negative recruiting goes on there for sure. So this is the stretch run, and that sounds good after a visit to Texas, and hopefully OU can hold on there as we get closer to signing day in early December. What about tonight? Who are you going to see Jaden O'Neal again tonight out in Shreveport?
Peyton Houston.
Or not Jaden O'Neal. Sorry, Peyton Houston. Yeah, my bad.
Yes, that is where I will be. Shreveport is the destination, not the ultimate destination tonight, because then I'm going to get on the road and drive to Memphis. So I'll see you at 2, 3 a.m. You still going to be out then?
No, dude, I'm getting up at 4:35 tomorrow to get to the Grove to drive from here.
What?
So 2, 3 a.m.? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. My wife just gave me a weird look when I said 4:30 to 5. She was like, I guess you're going by yourself then. But, no, I will not be up that late. I'm just hoping that you see another, 74 to 72 last time you were out there a few weeks ago?
77 to 76 was the final score.
Jeez, man.
Of that football game.
Insane, dude.
And, yes, Peyton Houston had, 924 total yards of offense and 10 touchdowns that night. So, yeah, if I get another game like that one, it's going to be a treat. Unfortunately, that game lasted forever. I didn't leave until 11 p.m. And so hopefully I can get on the road a little bit sooner tonight.
Okay, to the text line, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. William, the innkeeper, says, me throughout the week after a Sooner loss. And it has the GIF there. OU 17-16. The Devils in the details. 5 field goals and a safety, and hold off an Ole Miss 2-point conversion for the win. So William has an OU win, 17-16, behind 5 Schmidt Show field goals and someone getting a safety to win the thing 17-16. You would take that right now in a heartbeat, would you not? That would actually be a pretty epic way to win. Everyone already thinks the OU defense is really good and been put in a tough spot. But if they win a game tomorrow via safety and don't score a touchdown and win the game, then I think the approval rating of the OU defense will get even higher.
Yeah, I mean, in general, but certainly this year with where this program's at right now, a win is a win is a win. You'll take it however you can get it.
No doubt. Okay, Tana from Texas says, how has Colton Vosick turned out at Texas? Didn't play much last year. How much is he playing this year?
Do you recall seeing him on the field against OU?
Should I? Because I probably departed from the Cotton Bowl.
No, that's a genuine question because I personally do not. I can't remember seeing him. I can't remember hearing his name called. So, I mean, Texas has a good defensive line. It's not like they need him to be in the rotation right now. But, yeah, I don't recall him getting much run, if any, against OU.
Blue of Green Country says, I think it was 2002 in College Station where OU was playing A&M, and Kevin Sumlin was the fill-in OC, and Sumlin called several plays, several deep passes that connected and beat OU. I feel that's what OU needs to do tomorrow. Yeah, that's a bad memory for me, Blue. I'm trying to stay in a positive space. That was my first trip to College Station. Reggie McNeil comes in the game, throws a bunch of bombs down the field and beat number 1 OU 30-26. I don't know if Kevin Sumlin was like the fill-in OC that day. I don't remember that part, but I do remember that 0-2 game. Unfortunately, A&M beat OU that afternoon. Not great. So let's kind of try and stay on the positive train here. Like, Ole Miss's defensive line's really good, man. And it's not just their defensive line. Like, they're a good defense. If they're gettable anywhere, it's in the secondary. So you're hoping that you can finally expose that a little bit, running up against a team that maybe has some corners in the back end and doing some things deep. But what's the situation, or what's the thought? Like, how can Jackson Arnold be better than the last time he started a game? Now, I know the bar for that is not extremely high because he had 3 really bad turnovers in the first half.
Yeah.
But what are some things, based on last week and just, personnel-wise, whatever, why do we think Jackson Arnold can be a lot better than he was the last time we saw him start a game against Tennessee?
I mean, I think he can be better if he just doesn't make stupid decisions with the football like he did against Tennessee. But look, I really don't know how he gets that much better, and that doesn't really have anything to do with him. It has everything to do with the circumstances. That offensive line may very well get their lunch eaten tomorrow by Ole Miss up front. And that's kind of the expectation I'm going in with. The expectation I'm going in with is Ole Miss is just going to have their way with that Oklahoma offensive line in the trenches. If that's not the outcome, okay, that's a pleasant surprise. But that offensive line, they're not getting better. If anything, they're regressing week after week. And that just puts a guy like Jackson Arnold in a very precarious situation because you're not going to have much time to do anything back there.
Unless you find 88 wide open somewhere. Did you see?
That's true.
Did you see the OU football tweets earlier this afternoon? Road dog mentality. They put out their little graphic like they do every Friday before the game. And Jacob Jordan was kind of the feature athlete on the graphic. I'm just saying, give 88 a chance throwing the ball. He's had the best game by a wide receiver in SEC play this year for OU. I don't think it's that close. Like, I will be very disappointed if they don't give him opportunities tomorrow. I just, based on what you've seen from the wide receivers and based on what he did last week, given an opportunity, and, like, it wasn't just the fact that, they didn't pay attention to him and they found him wide open. Like, no, dude was making moves in the open field. Like, how many times this year can you remember a wide receiver with the ball in his hands making someone miss and getting some extra yardage? Like, not all that much. Jacob Jordan is one of the few that's done that. Play the kid.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way. And what Jacob Jordan did last week, what that has to do is increase his workload going forward because he produced, and that's something that no other wide receiver all year, save for Deion Burks and Brennan Thompson when the shots are there, has done. And so I would hope you see a lot more of Jacob Jordan tomorrow. I would hope he can build upon that strong performance because, man, I haven't really brought this up until now because the offense is facing so many deeper issues, and so it's not really high on the list of things that are obviously wrong for OU's offense. But you did kind of get the sense in the early season, in particular, that they miss Drake Stoops. This Oklahoma offense misses Drake Stoops. And what I mean by that is they miss a guy who's just going to run the right route, sit down in the zone, create separation, catch the ball reliably every single time, and be able to move the chains on third down, be able to be somebody that the quarterback can drop back and know every single time, even before the ball is snapped, I'm going to have 12. I'm going to be able to go there with the football. If that's all Jacob Jordan ever becomes at Oklahoma, if he's just the guy that the quarterback knows, all right, I got him for 5 yards if I need it. Boy, that's huge for Oklahoma's offense. That's an element right now, and that's an asset that they just don't have and have not had this year.
No, I mean, and I think we all knew that last year because we all said it. Like, as soon as the season was over, the regular season was over, like, man, this football team is going to miss Drake Stoops next year. And we knew that was going to be true, but at the same time, you thought that, well, they're going to have some other wide receivers around that make plays. Like, you're going to have some other really good players at that spot, but what we really mean by that is someone who could work kind of the intermediate routes, be clutch on third downs, work the middle of the field. Like, who's that guy going to be next year? You're really going to miss Drake Stoops. I think you miss Drake Stoops more than you ever. And, dude, all the respect in the world to him. He's unbelievable. He's probably everyone's favorite player last year. He was an all Big 12 player. But I think you miss Drake Stoops more than you ever thought you were going to miss Drake Stoops, just based on what you've seen. And if Jacob Jordan could just do what he did last week, just replicate the same stat line even with more targets, are you kidding me? You would take that right now in a heartbeat.
6 catches for 86 yards every single week. Yes, pencil me in for that, Tyler.
Yeah, 100%. Who's going to finish? Teddy and I were talking about this yesterday. I think it's a fascinating question. Who's going to finish as the leading receiver this year? Not Bauer Sharp. I think Bauer Sharp's second. Deion Burks is first right now, just over 200 yards. But everyone else is in striking distance at this point. And Burks does not play tomorrow. We'll see if he's back or not. But Bauer Sharp could do it. Jacob Jordan could do it. Brennan Thompson could do it. Who's going to be the leading receiver at the end of this year?
Shoot, I don't know, Tyler, but he's going to have, 450 yards?
Maybe.
Forget a 1,000-yard receiver. You might be lucky to get a 500-yard receiver.
Oh, gosh, man. Unbelievable. I'm going to guess, and this is purely a guess, I want it to be Jacob Jordan. I really do. I'm going to guess it's Brennan Thompson. Hopefully last week that's going to help things moving forward. They got him on a deep ball, and he was open on a deep ball against Auburn, and they missed him. So Brennan Thompson, for the lack of a downfield passing game this year, he has been open a few times down the field. Was he open on the first play last week on that interception by Michael Hawkins?
Oh, he was. He absolutely was. Yeah,
so
he had
he's
more.
Getting some space at least.
Yeah, he had a step on that post. If Hawkins had been, first, if he had seen it, and B, if he'd been willing to take the shot, that might have been a long, long touchdown pass if he hits Brennan Thompson in stride there. But yeah, man, the opportunities have been there for Thompson. It's just the quarterback hasn't always seen him. And when he has seen him, the quarterback's throw hasn't always been on target, regardless of whether that's been Arnold or whether that's been Hawkins. There have been numerous occasions where it hasn't been there as far as the connection for one reason or another.
Brad from the 405, really liked the Dominic Williams segment yesterday. God, if you can hear me, please let Dominic Williams come back for one more year. That's from Brad in the 405. Yeah, that'd be nice, man. I don't know what his draft stock's going to look like. Clearly that guy's going to play in the league. I mean, he's just a massive human being that can move people. He'll play in the NFL, and he may play in the NFL for a long time. I don't know the likelihood of that, but, yeah, getting that dude back next year, if that's possible, would be it would be massive. I mean, and I still think you're going to be, pretty good once again on the interior, but, I mean, clearly, Parker, getting a guy like that back, if that's even possible, would be, massive.
Yeah, anybody and everybody that you can bring back in the passing game for next year, you'd love to be able to. It may be the case, Tyler, and I think Steely and I have discussed this. It may be the case that next year you just have the receiver room that you thought you were going to have in 2024. Because Jalil Farouk's going to be able to come back with a medical hardship waiver. Burks will be able to come back. Obviously, Anthony's back. Nick Anderson's going to be back. Jaden Gibson's going to be back. Those were all the guys that had you feeling so good about this Oklahoma passing attack in 2024, and then they all dropped one by one like flies. But if they're all back in the Crimson and Cream in 2025, we'll probably be having the exact same conversations preseason about Oklahoma's aerial attack on offense that we were 3 months ago.
Brad says, will the OUO line ever give Jackson Arnold time to throw this year or the next? Well, I wish I could be more optimistic about it this year, but I think we're probably all on the same page about that. I think it's pretty obvious what the biggest question mark is going to be heading into 2025. It was the same biggest question mark you had heading into 2024, the offensive line, but even more so next year. It was, thing I was asked about the most from other SEC media members is, hey, this offensive line going to be any good? What's the deal with this offensive line? Is it going to be any good? It was a talking point, but probably even more so next year. And if you get Fasusi on campus, we'll see if he is a contributor day one. We'll see what you do via the transfer portal. But, I mean, you don't really have to look into a crystal ball, Parker, for this upcoming offseason. There will be questions about this team. There will be hot seat talk, I'm sure. There will be questions about the wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, whatever. But there will be no bigger question than what the O-line looks like in 25.
That is the question right now. And shoot, Tyler, how many guys you think there are on this roster right now that you feel legitimately confident, okay, A, that dude's a starter in 2025, and B, we can rely on that dude in 2025? To me, the list is like Jacob Sexton, provided he's playing left tackle, and then maybe Troy Everett at center. Jury's still very much out on everybody else.
Yeah, there ain't no doubt about that. Hey, by the way, you can come by, swing by Rendezvous. We're going to be here until 6 p.m. Now, if you're trying to come to dinner tonight, you can try your luck, but apparently they're going to have a big crowd tonight. But if you're going to be in Memphis for the OU Ole Miss game this weekend, tomorrow night, they said, is a pretty good spot to get into Rendezvous if you're looking for some really good barbecue. They are open until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So you're coming back from Oxford for the 11 a.m. kick. You'll have time to stop here at Rendezvous if you're staying here in Memphis. But I've got ribs in front of me, and I'm about to devour some during the break. Wish me luck. 405-651-3439. Final segment of Locked In coming up next.
Obsessed with Sooner Crootin? Then it's time to get locked in with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune every afternoon from 2 to 3 on the home of Sooner fans, the Ref Radio Sports Network.
Hey, Dad, what do you do for work?
Well, you know how in football, we work together to protect the quarterback and sack the opponent's quarterback.
Yeah?
At work, I do something similar. I protect people who've been hurt in accidents and make sure those big insurance companies pay what they should.
I get it. You sack the insurance companies.
That's right. I fight for people's rights, making sure they get the help and justice they deserve.
When you're hurt, call attorney Jonathan Jackson. Get help. Get justice. Get JJ Law. Call 855-GET-JJ Law today.
Hi, this is Jack Kiker with Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, located in Blanchard, America. My grandfather, Larry Knippelmeyer, tells me everybody deserves to save money, so say goodbye to those pushy big-time dealers with all those add-ons like paint protectors, nitrogen tires, and everything else that they could possibly think of. Then come down to Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, just 15 minutes from OKC or Norman. At Knippelmeyer, we will save you money and make sure you get a good buy from a family-owned dealership that has treated customers like family for over 65 years. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Considering refinancing your mortgage? Now might be the perfect time to start planning. With rates on the move, Stride Bank can help you determine if you may be able to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or tap into your home's equity. Stride's expert mortgage advisors will work with you to tailor a solution that fits your needs. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Kendall Sacchieri has defended the taxpayer in McLean County. Now she's ready to defend our rights in Oklahoma City. The honest, conservative choice, Kendall is ready to be a leader on the issues that matter most. She will protect the unborn and the Second Amendment, rein in big government, and secure stellar education for our children. On November the 5th, vote the honest, conservative choice. Vote Kendall Sacchieri for Oklahoma State Senate. Authorized and paid for by Kendall for Oklahoma 2024.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and my team and I take time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for retirement or in need of auto, home, life, or business insurance, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit the Julia Chu Agency or call 329-3311. Come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, Norman.
The Sooners aren't the only team in Norman killing it in the transfer portal. Bob Stoops.
You know, in today's world, especially with transfer portals and whatnot, you could change a team in a month.
Dusty Dvorak.
You practice situations with the expectation that when you get into game situations, you go out and execute.
Brian Bosworth.
I went to Oklahoma for the very specific purpose to kick the out of Texas in the Cotton Bowl.
The Ref continues to prove this is the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
afternoon, live on the Ref. Just had the ribs at Rendezvous. Had 3 during the break. I don't know what you guys did during the break, but I had 3 ribs, and oh my gosh, they're so good. So good. Rendezvous lived up to the hype for sure. We had the sausage and cheese plate. We've got the ribs. We've got the whole spread out here. Pretty fantastic. Would highly, 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 highly recommend. Rendezvous right here in Memphis, and they are open until 10 o'clock tomorrow night if you're out here for the OU Ole Miss game. Okay, let's get to a few texts here. Les in Hayes, Kansas says they're going to have to process any receivers since we are getting everyone back and the class coming up there has a lot of receivers next year. So I'm guessing Les is asking if they're going to process wide receivers.
Yeah, I would think there will be at least a couple guys processed and at least a couple other guys that leave of their own volition. Because if you truly do have 0 turnovers, 0 departures, and unless I'm just looking past somebody completely, I don't think anybody in that receiver room is going to age out this offseason. Like, assuming everybody else is able to come back, I think you'll lose a couple organically. I think you'll probably have to tell a couple to move on. So, yes, there will be some attrition. There will be some turnover in that wide receiver room. As to who those guys are, I mean, I got to guess. I'm sure you've got to guess, but we'll see what happens at season's end.
Chris Tate says Ole Miss is one of the most penalized teams in the country, averaging 85 penalty yards a game. If OU can protect the football and take advantage of Ole Miss giving us some charity, OU has a good enough defense where we could have a dogfight of a football game. Sooners 17, Ole Miss 13. You know, that's a good point from Chris Tate, and I feel like that's kind of the norm over the years for a Lane Kiffin team, and they've won. I mean, they won the Peach Bowl last year. He's had some good teams at Ole Miss, but I feel like most years they're one of the more penalized teams in the SEC. And, yes, Ole Miss's penalty yards will be important, but maybe even important than that, Parker, is how many drives this year. And not even like a 10-yard penalty, a 5-yard penalty, and you just kind of throw your hands up on first down because someone moves early and you say, well, that's the end of that drive, right? Like, OU cannot, as important as that is that they take advantage of Ole Miss mistakes, we cannot look up at the end of this game and OU has north of 70 penalty yards. Those have been absolute drive killers for this team.
Yeah, I think my colleague Brian Clinton did the numbers crunching last week, but I think the statistic was Oklahoma has faced a second and double digits, basically, a second and 10 or longer, on over half of their offensive drives in 2024. And needless to say, if that's the predicament you're in on a regular basis as an offense, especially when you have so many personnel deficiencies and challenges that you're already fighting through, you're not going to have any success consistently moving the football.
Rodney from Denton says, on the bright side, the receivers are more likely to hang around next year because of the opportunity for playing time. Sooner Boomer and Tuttle says, I bet nobody says anything remotely close to our wide receiver room is so deep. Talking about the offseason. Chapstick says, Caden Helms and Ivan Carrione will make a difference tomorrow. Big bodies that will show some fight. That's a very interesting name, Chapstick. I think everyone loved the effort and the fight that Caden Helms showed last week. And, you know, it's not necessarily just like Jacob Jordan, but Caden Helms gave you something. He showed you something. He looked like he had some heart out there, like he wanted to be there. Does he get some more opportunities tomorrow in a wide receiver room that's really, a tight end room that's really struggling?
Hey, people forget all too quickly, I might add, because last week was miserable, but Ivan Carrione was a PI no call away from having a touchdown catch.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, I do remember that. So
Jackson Arnold puts it right on him at the pylon, and man, yeah, I thought he got interfered with by that defensive back. But if that ball is, or if that's played cleanly by the defensive back, I think Ivan Carrione has his first career touchdown. So I wouldn't mind seeing more of him. I would certainly like to see more of Caden Helms at tight end, because tight end has been a position of objective weakness for Oklahoma all year.
Muleshoe going to lose tonight? Muleshoe going to lose his 5th game against Rutgers?
One can hope.
Yeah. One can definitely hope. Rutgers has to go all the way across the country and play USC. 3-4 USC right now. USC is a 14-point favorite against Rutgers. 10 p.m. local start or 10 p.m. Central start time tonight on Fox. So for those of you that are going to stay up for that one, yeah, go ahead and root on Rutgers to get their 5th win of the year. Ain't no doubt about it. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on across college football this weekend. I think the game of the week is LSU at Texas A&M. That line has flipped a little bit. It was A&M minus 2.5 yesterday. It got to a pick-em yesterday afternoon, and now A&M's a favorite again at -1. I like LSU to go down there and win a high-scoring close game. And whoever wins this game tomorrow, Parker, is kind of in the driver's seat to make the SEC championship game. They'll be the lone undefeated team in the league. Who wins in College Station tomorrow? I got Brian Kelly and those LSU Tigers.
Well, I disagree with you, Tyler. I think A&M gets it done. And I think – was it you and I having this conversation yesterday, or was it Steely and I having this conversation? There's a very obviously a path to 11-1 for Texas A&M. As wild as that sounds, it's possible. All they really have to do is get by LSU, get by Texas. The other 3 wins should come pretty easily. But that has to start tomorrow in College Station at Kyle Field against the Tigers. If they can win that game, I think one way or another, Tyler, they're playing for an SEC championship at the end of the year. Because I guess the only thing that would knock them out of that seat at the championship table would be if Texas beat them head-to-head. And even then, I don't necessarily trust Texas to go the rest of the way without losing another one and dropping out of contention.
I think Texas is going to lose another game. I would love for it to be tomorrow. I think that'd be hilarious. Even though this is like the best team that maybe Vanderbilt's ever had, certainly one of them, it's still Vanderbilt's. The problem is I kind of fear that Vanderbilt's had its fun. Like, hey, they beat Alabama at home.
Yeah.
And then the very next week they turned around and won at Kentucky, and that was great. But at some point the magic is going to wear off. And though I really want Vandy to win tomorrow, God, I want Vandy to win tomorrow. I feel like the magic's about to wear off, at least this week for Vandy, and Texas is going to go out there and win.
Yeah, it feels like at a certain point the clock's going to strike midnight for a team like Vanderbilt, but hopefully, Tyler, they have one more little bit of magic up their sleeves, and Diego Pavia and Tim Beck can give us another upset victory in Nashville that'll bring down the goalposts. Because how hilarious would it be if Texas in their inaugural year in the SEC lost to Vanderbilt?
It'd be great. At this point of the year, I'm just hate rooting, you know. It's just I want everyone else to go down with the ship as well. Texas losing to Vandy would be, it would be fantastic. Is it acceptable to put a statue on campus of a player that never played for you? Because I'd probably be willing to do that with Diego Pavia if he wins this game tomorrow. Are we all okay with that? We cool with that?
I endorse it all the way.
Yeah. I like the idea.
I'm sure Steely would pay for it.
Well, yeah. We know he's got enough cash to do that. There's no doubt about that. 100% he would have enough cash. Okay, you're going to go see a big-time quarterback recruit tonight out in Shreveport. You saw him the week of OU Texas. Is there any indication that the recent firing of Seth Luttrell in the impending OC hire is going to affect him all that much? Or is it just, we've got some time with his recruitment. Who they hire as the next OC will be important, but it's maybe way too early to even tell one way or the other if the OC hire is going to be a big thing for him.
Well, it's a phenomenal question, Tyler, and it's precisely the question that I would like to get answered this evening by Peyton Houston. That will be the priority for me, and so we'll see. We'll see where he's at. Obviously, Seth Luttrell was his primary recruiter at Oklahoma, but the entire rest of the staff has been involved. It's an all-hands-on-deck effort to try and get that kid to Norman. He's one of only 2 quarterback offers in the class. Obviously, him and Trey Taylor from the state of Illinois, but Peyton Houston is a guy that they seem to have a preference for over Trey Taylor, and that's been reflected in the effort that they have invested into his recruitment. So I don't know how he's going to react or how he has reacted yet to the firing of Seth Luttrell and the changing of the guard offensively at Oklahoma, but I will have answers later tonight, and those answers will, of course, be available to subscribers over at OUinsider.com, which if you're not tapped in over there, I would recommend it. It's a good time to be getting all the intel.
Santa John says, I'm presently watching the UNLV-Oregon State game while listening to you guys. OU has always been on the forefront of offensive innovation. Bud equals a split T, Barry equals a wishbone, and Bob equals the air raid. If Marion's go-go offense is structurally sound, BV will know this, then I would be willing to go. I would be willing to go with Marion. Tell me if you agree with this or not on Brennan Marion. He feels like, and I don't know if this is just scuttlebutt from the staff or kind of what they're thinking for the OC hire, but for whatever reason, it feels to me like the name that has maybe lost a little bit of steam since the firing happened on Sunday afternoon is Brennan Marion. And I know that you said that maybe you're not as confident about that as you were a few days ago, but do you think in terms of popular names that have realistically been thrown out there that Brennan Marion's name has maybe lost the most steam throughout the past 5-6 days or so? Because I guess I feel that way.
Yeah, I would concur with that, and I will say this. That doesn't mean a whole lot because we're 5 days into a process that's going to last at least 6 or 7 weeks. So there's going to be some ebb and flow. There's going to be guys whose names pick up steam and lose steam again. That's just kind of the way these things go, especially when you have a firing midseason and then a window of pretty substantial time until you can actually go and make a replacement hire. But yeah, Brennan Marion was the early – I think he was the top of the board early guy for many folks. As I've dug into it more, I think other guys have taken precedence for me. But he will certainly remain a top candidate, no doubt about that. His name is not going anywhere. By the way, I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed and read a hilarious headline. You'll get a kick out of this, Tyler.
Let's go.
Lincoln Riley and USC, quote, stuck with each other as buyout measures $90 million per report.
Oh, my gosh. Tell me it's a Bill Plaschke headline. Or I'll take a Luka Evans. He's starting to become a personal favorite of mine as well.
It was Pete Thamel that reported the buyout figure.
Man. Yep. They didn't think it was going to go like this. That is, I mean, we laughed at Jimbo's buyout, man. We laughed at Jimbo. We've never seen a buyout like that before. It's crazy. We've never seen a buyout like this. And I don't know if I told you this last week or not, but little scuttlebutt out there that going to Maryland, that he thought if he lost to Maryland that they were going to fire him the next day. Now, I'll be honest. When I was told that late last week, I didn't believe that. I thought, okay, well, I don't really believe that's going to happen because of the buyout. But what I thought was interesting is the fact that he thinks that. Is the fact that he thinks that, USC may be fed up with him and close to firing him. But I cannot
How do you know he thought
that?
Is your source Clark Stroud?
405-651-3430. No, my source is not Clark Stroud on that one. But still interesting, man, that it really feels like it should be coming to an end. But how close to the end could it really be with that big of a buyout? I mean, USC, they're not poor necessarily, but I don't think they have $90 million to pay for a buyout when
what
you're trying
university
to do all this stuff with NIL.
does have $90 million just sitting around?
Nobody does, man. God, you got to know that they're just hoping, praying. He takes an OC job somewhere, a head coach job somewhere. The problem is I don't know who wants him at this point. I don't know who wants him. Big trouble out there in L.A. See if they beat Rutgers tonight, 10 p.m. Central on Fox. All right, man, drive safe to Oxford tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you around.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Rendezvous right here in Memphis. Teddy joins me next for The Rush. Keep it